Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Well, today we have new information for you about a man who opened fire inside a Tri-Cities Fred Meyer yesterday morning, killing one person and critically injuring another. 39-year-old Aaron Christopher Kelly was arrested near Moses Lake last night by U.S. Marshals. And according to police, he has now invoked his rights and has not answered any questions of theirs.
We have team coverage tonight of the shooting. Our Amanda Rowley has been monitoring the alleged shooter's first court appearance today. And our Kyle Simchuk back in Richland tonight, speaking with members of the community. Kyle, let's start with you. How is the community reacting tonight?
Well, yeah, Mark, the local Red Cross here is seeing a surge of people wanting to donate blood following this tragedy. Tonight, we're learning more about the victims and what exactly took place inside this store. Richland police say 39-year-old Aaron Kelly pulled out a handgun and started shooting 2 minutes after entering the Fred Meyer store.
I was helping someone with their groceries, putting them in their trunk when my boss and a bunch of people started running outside and saying, "Run, run, there's an active shooter."
A chaotic scene as customers and employees scrambled to safety, emotions pouring out in the parking lot.
We heard a couple pops thinking, okay, it might have been a couple of balloons popping somewhere. And then we heard another few and people running saying shots fired, ducking and running out the doors.
Kelly was arrested by U.S. Marshals near Moses Lake early this morning. He appeared before a judge this afternoon charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder.
Acquaintances of Kelly have described his condition to investigators as being in decline over the last few weeks and months. He has been described as distancing himself from friends and family.
He had a brief conversation with 38-year-old Justin Crumbaugh before allegedly pulling out a handgun and shooting him to death. A GoFundMe set up for Crumbaugh's family has raised nearly $22,000 in less than 24 hours. A second victim, a Fred Meyer employee, remains in critical condition. Police say there's no evidence that Kelly knew any of the men he shot.
Again, there are no words to adequately express our sorrow for the victims and their families regarding this senseless act of violence resulting in the loss of innocent life.
And this Fred Meyer is still closed and will be for several days. You can see some of that police yellow crime tape still up around the parking lot. Reporting in Richland tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. In the meantime, the suspected shooter did make his first court appearance this afternoon there in Benton County. Amanda Rowley joining us now. And Amanda, you watched that appearance and you even have copies of the court documents. What have we learned so far?
Well, Aaron Kelly is charged with murder and attempted murder following the shooting at Fred Meyer. In fact, court documents led us to the suspect's ex-roommate who identified him for police.
Benton County court documents detail events surrounding the shooting at Fred Meyer. Records say when Richland police arrived at the store, they found 2 people with gunshot wounds and several 9mm casings near them. Investigators watched store surveillance footage that shows Kelly entering the store with a cart. They say he had a brief conversation in an aisle with the first victim before repeatedly shooting them with a handgun. That victim, identified as Justin Crumbaugh, died at the scene. Kelly then shot a second victim near customer service before leaving the store. This all happened within 7 minutes.
When I called them, I basically said, I don't want to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Aaron.
Investigators say the suspect's ex-roommate identified Kelly after police posted his photo on social media. Bryant Scott told police Kelly has been spiraling mentally and described him as paranoid.
It's the MO is consistent, just callous and uncaring. And I mean, we saw it from everyone saw it. We all saw it. You don't think it's going to happen until it does.
In an interview with our crews in Richland, Scott says Kelly frequently did things to make all his roommates uncomfortable.
I was working on my homework or something and I'll turn around and he's just be sitting there staring at you.
A Fred Meyer employee told police she recognized Kelly because he was suspected of shoplifting at the store last Thursday. During that incident, another employee took a photo of Kelly near his car. Richland police say they've had low-level, nonviolent crime interactions with Kelly in the past.
Now, the suspect did not enter a plea today for the murder charges. His bond remains at $1 million. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. Well, new tonight, the Spokane County Board of Health has 3 new members. The board has been looking for these members for the past several months after new Washington law required local health district boards to have an equal number of elected and non-elected representatives. So the new appointed members are Alicia Policani, who is a naturopathic doctor. She is the new public health representative. Christopher Patterson as the new consumer of public health representative. And finally, Charlie Duranona is the new community stakeholder representative.
Now, in the past, the board has received some criticism for being overly political in nature. That followed the firing of former health officer Dr. Bob Lutz. The new board makeup ensures, though, that it can't be made up of more than half politicians.
So State Representative Marcus Riccelli is responding to the new board members. He wrote in part today, quote, "It is truly disappointing that once again, the Spokane County Commissioners, led by Commissioner Al French, are again putting politics over public health." He continued, "They've consistently worked against the intent of the bill to bring more medical expertise, inclusiveness, and broader representation to our Board of Health. It's truly disturbing that as it stands, our Board of Health will not have any medical doctors on it." You can read his entire statement on our website. Just head to krem.com.
Well, a former Washington State Department of Health employee is now suing the state and the Secretary of Health. She claims the department fired her for comments that she made personally about the Spokane County Health Administrator Amelia Clark.
Erica Henry worked for the DOH from 2014 until she says she was fired in 2021. She's a former Spokane Regional Health District employee. And after the controversial firing of then Public Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz back in 2020, the lawsuit claims that Henry sent an email to the SRHD board claiming Clark was, quote, incompetent and inadequate to lead the health district.
Now, the lawsuit claims she sent that email from her personal email on her personal computer and that she didn't even mention her own employment with the Department of Health. She claims, though, she was later fired for sending that email. The lawsuit claims the firing violated her First Amendment rights. Now, the state is claiming that Henry violated ethics rules and that her actions could show a perceived conflict of interest.
California and Oregon will soon drop their indoor mask mandates, and Washington could be following. Governor Jay Inslee's office today said it's optimistic about COVID cases dropping, and they'll revisit the state's mask requirement in the near future. There is mixed reaction to ending the mandate. Some experts think that we should keep wearing masks indoors as long as COVID is around. However, the Washington State Superintendent of Public Instruction supports ending a mask mandate in our schools.
It's time to make the next transition in this pandemic, and that is likely a mask optional, but our schools are ready to make this transition.
Superintendent Chris Rakedahl says it's not his decision to make. He would like to see families make their own decisions, he said. Let's take a break from the headlines to talk weather. A sunny day out here in the inland Northwest. Another beautiful one. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry joining us from the Weather Center here in the studio. And Tom, will this nice weather stick around?
Well, we are talking about seeing this nice weather sticking around through the weekend. I've got 41 degrees right now, not much in the wind department, and we are tracking temperatures climbing into the mid 40s by the weekend. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Tom, thank you very much. Back in 2020, a fire destroyed several businesses in downtown Coeur d'Alene, including the popular restaurant Schmitty's Burgers.
Well, now 2 years later, Schmitty's doors are back open. KREM 2's Janelle Finch was there tonight as the business is welcoming the community back.
After a fire burned down their original building, Schmitty's Burgers is back at a new location 2 years later. After a soft launch, they officially opened to the public February 3rd and say the community has welcomed them back with open arms. It's been years since the fire, but Schmitty's Burgers co-owner Nate Schmidt can remember it like it was yesterday.
My phone, I got like 8 or 9 calls. Everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I'm like, "Your restaurant."
A circuit breaker on the roof set the building on fire in the middle of the night, destroying 4 local businesses. One of those businesses was Schmitty's Burgers.
The cups in the middle of the streets. There was just, the hoses. So the whole place was just ruined.
But now Schmitty's Burgers is back, and Schmidt says to the community, it's like no time has passed.
It was like we never closed, basically. Everyone was right back in here, just like we were always open.
Schmidt says in the first week of reopening to the public, business has been great. Since the fire, he and his wife have looked to the positives of their new situation at their new location.
We got to do it our way. At the old place, we kind of just took over a lease and had to work with what was there. We're here, this is all ours. This is all everything we did. So, old location was great to us. It sucked that what happened to us sucked, but we're very happy in this place.
Schmitty's Burgers reopened on East Sherman and Coeur d'Alene. The business is still working out a couple of reopening kinks, but they say they wanted to get back behind the grill as soon as they could. The new location is about a mile away from the original location, but the owners say the move worked for them. With the ability to use a pickup window and a larger dining room, they say that they're excited about the potential of their new space. In Coeur d'Alene, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Took a long time, but definitely worth the wait. All right, taking a look now at some North Wallace, Idaho news. They're getting a new bank now after their one and only bank closed last month. Turns out Mountain West Bank is going to be moving into that historic First National Bank building in Wallace in May after some renovations. The U.S. Bank closed its branch back in January, leaving the community without a bank for miles, and they were worried about it. So the new bank, we're told, will have a new ATM for residents there who they will be there for the next few months who basically haven't had a way to make withdrawals while they're in town. Mountain West Bank plans to open its doors in May.
Well, it is Boomtown Week here on KREM, and there is a lot of growth in our area, but what qualifies as booming growth? We'll break that down coming up after the break.